Breaking news, Cowboys Nation. CeeDee Lamb's future in Dallas just got a whole lot murkier. Contract talks? Dead in the water. And in a shocking twist, Lamb was a no-show on the team flight to training camp. Is the star receiver sending a message? Or is this the beginning of a messy breakup? Stick around as we dive deep into this developing drama that could reshape the Cowboys' entire season. Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to Dallas Cowboys Fan, your ultimate destination for all things America's team. Whether you bleed blue and silver or are just starting to catch Cowboys fever, this is the place. If you are a die-hard fan, please make sure to subscribe for more latest news and updates of your favorite team. Breaking news out of Dallas, folks. We've just learned that there has been absolutely zero progress on contract negotiations between the Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb. But that's not all in a shocking development. Lamb was not on the team flight to Oxnard, California for the start of training camp. First, let's talk about the contract situation. CeeDee Lamb is entering the fourth year of his rookie deal, and he's due for a massive payday. The Cowboys picked up his fifth-year option back in April, which means he's under contract through the 2024 season. But make no mistake, both Lamb and the Cowboys want to get a long-term deal done. So why hasn't it happened yet? Well, that's where things get complicated. Sources close to the negotiations have informed me that the two sides are far apart on both the total value of the contract and the guaranteed money. Lamb's camp is reportedly seeking a deal that would make him one of the highest-paid receivers in the NFL, potentially in the range of $25-30 million per year. The Cowboys, on the other hand, are trying to balance their desire to keep Lamb long-term with their need to manage the salary cap. Remember, they've got other key players to think about, including quarterback Dak Prescott, who's due for an extension soon. But here's where it gets really interesting. The lack of progress on the contract talks is concerning enough, but Lamb not being on the flight to training camp? That's a whole new level of drama. Now, before we jump to conclusions, it's important to note that we don't have all the details yet. There could be a perfectly reasonable explanation for Lamb's absence. Maybe he had a personal matter to attend to, or perhaps he's planning to arrive separately. However, in the NFL, optics matter. And the optics of your star receiver not traveling with the team to training camp when he's in the middle of contract negotiations? That's not great. Let's take a step back and look at why this is such a big deal. CeeDee Lamb isn't just any player, he's the Cowboys' #1 receiver and one of the most exciting young talents in the NFL. Since being drafted 17th overall in 2020, Lamb has been nothing short of spectacular. In his first 3 seasons, he's racked up 260 receptions for 3,396 yards and 20 touchdowns. Last season was his best yet, with 107 catches for 1,359 yards and 9 touchdowns, earning him his second Pro Bowl selection. Lamb has become Dak Prescott's go-to target, and he's a key piece of the Cowboys' offensive puzzle. Losing him, even for part of training camp, could have significant implications for the team's preparation for the upcoming season. For CeeDee Lamb, this is a crucial moment in his career. He's established himself as one of the top receivers in the league, and now he's looking to be paid like one. The receiver market has exploded in recent years with players like Tyreek Hill, Davante Adams, and A.J. Brown signing massive deals. Lamb likely sees himself in that same tier of receivers, and he's not wrong. His production, especially considering he's only 24 years old, puts him right up there with the best in the game. But here's the thing, holdouts can be risky. While they can sometimes lead to better contracts, they can also create tension between the player and the team. And in some cases, they can even affect a player's performance if they miss too much valuable practice time. From the Cowboys' perspective, this is a delicate situation. They obviously want to keep Lamb long-term. He's a homegrown talent and a fan favorite. But they also have to consider the bigger picture. The Cowboys have several other key players they need to think about extending in the coming years. Micah Parsons will be due for a massive payday soon. Trayvon Diggs just signed a big extension. And, as I mentioned earlier, Dak Prescott's contract situation looms large. Jerry Jones and the Cowboys front office have to balance all of these factors while trying to field a competitive team. It's not an easy task, especially in a league with a hard salary cap. In the best-case scenario for Cowboys fans, this is all just a minor hiccup. Maybe Lamb and the team are closer to a deal than we think, and this absence from the flight is just a bit of posturing from Lamb's camp to apply some pressure. In this scenario, we could see a deal announced in the next few days, with Lamb joining his teammates in Oxnard shortly after. If the two sides really are far apart, we could be looking at an extended holdout. Lamb could choose to skip part or all of training camp to make his point. This would be a significant escalation and could start to affect the team's preparation for the season. This is the nightmare scenario for Cowboys fans, but it's worth mentioning. If negotiations completely break down, there's always the possibility that Lamb could request a trade. Now, this seems unlikely given that he's still under contract for 2 more years, but stranger things have happened in the NFL. So, what do I think will happen? Well, if I had to bet, I'd say this gets resolved before the regular season starts. The Cowboys know how valuable Lamb is, and Lamb knows that Dallas is a great situation for him with a star quarterback and a high-powered offense. My prediction is that we'll see some tense negotiations over the next few weeks, with maybe a bit more drama in the media. But ultimately, I think the two sides will come to an agreement on a long-term deal that makes Lamb one of the highest-paid receivers in the league. Even if Lamb returns soon, missing the start of training camp isn't ideal. The Cowboys are installing a new offense under new coordinator Brian Schottenheimer, and every rep matters, especially for a player as important as Lamb. If this drags on, it could impact the team's offensive chemistry. Dak Prescott and Lamb have developed a great connection over the past 3 years, but timing and rhythm in the passing game require constant work. There's also the question of how this might affect team morale. Contract disputes can sometimes create tension in the locker room, especially if other players feel like they've taken team-friendly deals. On the flip side, this could create opportunities for other receivers on the roster. Players like Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks, and Jalen Tolbert could see increased reps in Lamb's absence. For young players like Tolbert, in particular, this could be a chance to make a strong impression on the coaching staff. Let's zoom out for a moment and look at the bigger picture here. This situation with Lamb is part of a larger trend we're seeing across the NFL. Star players, especially wide receivers, are becoming more assertive in contract negotiations. We've seen players like Deebo Samuel, A.J. Brown, and Tyreek Hill either hold out or force trades to get the contracts they want. This shift is partly due to the exploding market for wide receivers. With the NFL becoming more pass-heavy, elite receivers are more valuable than ever. They know their worth, and they're not afraid to demand it. It's also a reflection of the changing power dynamics in the NFL. Players have more leverage than ever before, thanks to social media, player-friendly CBA changes, and a growing recognition of their short career spans. For teams, this presents a real challenge. How do you balance keeping your star players happy with maintaining a competitive roster under the salary cap? It's a question that every NFL front office is grappling with, and the Cowboys are just the latest to face it head-on. That's all for today, folks. This is definitely a developing situation, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel for all the latest updates. I'll be keeping a close eye on this and will bring you any breaking news as soon as it happens.